There are at least 6 companies that have eclipsed the $1 trillion market capitalization mark as of this recording, and they are Microsoft, Alphabet, Tesla, Meta Platforms, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, and Apple. In this video, I'm going to discuss Eli Lilly and why I wouldn't be surprised if Eli Lilly joins that group next year or the year after. As of this recording, Eli Lilly has a market cap of $729 billion. So I'm going to share with you all the details about this company and why I think it's poised to have an increased, perhaps eclipsing $1 trillion market cap in the next year or two.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So if you've been following Eli Lilly, you obviously know about its weight loss drug, Zepbound, and the incredible demand it has drawn from consumers because of the health benefits it adds to their lives. Not only does it reduce weight, but the reduced weight also leads to other health benefits and better heart health and other benefits not as widely popularized as the weight loss benefit, right? If you have lower weight, you can walk, it makes your athletic life more enjoyable. Everything else is better if you're overweight and your weight reduces, right? So understandably, there's been a lot of excitement around these weight loss drugs, and Eli Lilly has benefited significantly. Look at the surge in revenue here from 2023 all the way up till this recording, the trailing 12-month period. Revenues have surged up to $41 billion, and they are expected to continue growing, especially now that the manufacturing shortages of its Zepbound drug are behind it, and it's ramping up manufacturing of these drugs. So the company's cash flow from operations had taken a dip as it invested to ramp up development of this drug and manufacturing. But I wouldn't be surprised if the cash flow from operations to sales continues rising. It was 14.76% as of the most recent trailing 12-month period. And if you look at the Wall Street estimates for Eli Lilly's cash flows expected over the next 5 years, you can see the rebound that's expected. From 2024 to 2025, free cash flow is expected to increase by nearly 50% from $8.9 billion to $12.2 billion. That's expected to surge all the way to $31 billion by 2028, so roughly tripling in the next few years. That's how excited Wall Street is about Eli Lilly's free cash flow expectations. Now, the operating profit margin has already demonstrated phenomenal improvement. Trailing 12-month operating margins at 37% are the highest they've ever been for Eli Lilly, more than double the 16% these numbers were in 2016. The return on invested capital had been declining for several years, since 2020, but that has turned around ever since the launch of Zepbound and the benefits it's achieving. Return on invested capital is 21.5%. I wouldn't be surprised if 5 years from now, the return on invested capital approaches 35-40% again for Eli Lilly. So I talked about market capitalization when I was discussing valuation about Eli Lilly stock. But we can also look at valuations in a couple of different ways, starting with the forward price to earnings. Eli Lilly is trading at a forward price to earnings of 34, which is about the middle of where this stock has traded for going all the way back to January of 2022. The valuation has fluctuated, and with healthcare companies like Eli Lilly, well, maybe not the size of Eli Lilly. I guess you can say that with the news this morning, I was reading an article about Novo Nordisk and its results of its weight loss drug, how it was not as exciting as anticipated, and that sent the stock price down significantly as a result of that news. So volatility in this space is to be expected when the results of a drug trial go better than expected or worse than expected. It can have huge implications on the stock price because, as you can see with Zepbound, one breakthrough discovery could lead to tens of billions of dollars of revenue and profits and cash flow. So indications of how these drugs are going, the trials and milestones they hit, makes big differences in the company's valuation, as you see with Eli Lilly and as you've seen with other big name companies, and even especially smaller companies. The smaller companies experience bigger valuation fluctuations because those developments have a bigger impact on the company's overall business because they're a larger percentage of the expected value of the company's profits over several years. So the forward price to earnings ratio of 34 for Eli Lilly, I think, is undervalued given the company's expectations for profits over the next several years, the growing demand for these products and the growing effectiveness. And of course, they're iterating on this process, developing newer and better versions that could make them even more desirable for consumers. Now that's one way to look at valuation. Another way I've looked at Eli Lilly's valuation is through a discounted cash flow model. And my intrinsic value per share for Eli Lilly stock with no adjustments was $2,635 per share. And the current market price is $767. And so according to that calculation, there's significant upside to Eli Lilly stock. But I even did several scenarios of Eli Lilly, and the beta is very low on this company. It has a beta of 0.43 according to Yahoo Finance. So I adjusted the beta higher to see what valuation I would get on the stock. And at a beta at 0.75, I get an intrinsic value per share of $1,353, which is still much higher than the current market price. Even if I adjust the beta all the way up to 1, I get an intrinsic value per share of $949, which is still way above the current market price, roughly 20% higher. The only beta where I evaluated was as high as 1.25, which gave me an intrinsic value of $715 per share. This was the only beta at this level that would give me an overvaluation of Eli Lilly stock. So anything around 1.2 or above, a beta of 1.2 or above, is where you get an overvaluation at the current market price. So given these fundamentals and given these metrics, I expect, or I shouldn't say I expect, but I wouldn't be surprised if Eli Lilly joins this group of $1 trillion market cap companies, and given that its market cap is $729 billion, so it's less than 30% away from the $1 trillion milestone. The company's Zepbound product revenue is exploding, profit margins are soaring, valuation is relatively cheap. So I wouldn't be surprised if Eli Lilly joins this group in the next year or two, maybe 3, given its metrics. Did you know that over 90% of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed? It'll really help support my channel if you hit that subscribe button. And oh, by the way, one of the benefits of being subscribed is that I take requests from subscribers more often than I do from non-subscribers. So if you prefer that benefit, please subscribe to the channel.